What's up, frugal people? My name is Andrei Jikh, and I hope you had a wonderful 2018. But first, story time. 2018 brought us Fortnite and League of Legends, where they took over the world. We lost the greatest battle of our lifetime, which was the battle of the internet. And of course, Avengers set box office records. We lost Stephen Hawking, unfortunately, but we also witnessed the collapse and death of Bitcoin. Again. Also, 2018 was pretty incredible for me because it was the first year where I got to work for myself after working for a company for nearly 10 years. And you know what they say? If you don't build your own dreams, someone else will hire you to build theirs. Now, I'm probably like you because I just wanted time for myself. And after I quit, well, things were pretty great.
How big of a deal is it to really be homeless? It's not a big deal.
Mother!
God, are you there?
This is my life now. I will accept it. True story. At this point, I realized that I was nothing like Martin Luther King Jr. because, well, I didn't have a dream. I don't even know what that means, to have a dream. All I know is that I want to be able to have time to hang out with my friends, with my family, be able to play some Mario Party, binge watch some Black Mirror, some Game of Thrones, and get lost in season 2 of Westworld because literally I have no idea what's going on anymore. Anyway, I had this crazy idea to combine 3 of my favorite passions and mash them all up into one. And that is cardistry, awesome, cinematography, cool, and finance, money. How do I do that? And I know what you're thinking. What the hell is cardistry? Well, I'm glad you asked. So at this point in time, I'm probably 2 or 3 minutes into the video and I haven't said a single thing, so I'm really sorry about that. But having said that, this video is about teaching you step by step so that you can hopefully copy everything I did to make a ton of money with your idea or product by following everything step by step. I'm gonna provide concrete examples of everything. So with that said, let's get started right now. So the first step is pretty obvious. Figure out what your product or idea is. It should be probably something you're somewhat good at. Now, after I left my job, I found this new passion for not starving to death. And that really motivated me to, do the thing. Who would have thunk it? Necessity is the mother of all creation. Anyway, I'm also very fortunate to be friends with people that are far better and smarter than me. So I partnered up with my good friend Patrick Kuhn. I knew he would complement my strengths and could do things that I could not. And that really helped. And he wouldn't let me drown in my own self-depression and doubt. And I'm kind of big on that. It's kind of important, And also, life is short. Collaborate, make friends, and do something together. It's a lot more fun that way. Hey, B-roll. For our platform for funding and marketing purposes, we actually chose Kickstarter. Now, Kickstarter allows you to fund your project as well as advertise it. And it's amazing because it is a public platform. It already has a massive established audience built in. There's also Indiegogo, which works a little bit differently because it allows you to keep all of the pledges or all of the money that people give you, regardless of how much money you actually needed. Now, here's a pro tip. You might want to consider making your project goal be significantly less than what you actually need. For example, we needed $40,000, close to there, but our goal that we set was actually $20,000, which is half of that is math. And we did that because if your project reaches its goal quicker, then guess what? Kickstarter's algorithms kick in and you'll get featured on a lot more places and get a lot more organic views. You might even be featured on the front page. We didn't. But be careful, because if you do decide to do that and set your goal lower than what you need, let's say your project gets funded, but it doesn't meet the necessary funds, then guess what? The money will be deposited into your account and you'll be left with people's money and not enough to complete your project and therefore suffer harassment and public embarrassment for the rest of your life. So definitely avoid that. So speaking of money, how much should you charge? Well, if you're making, for example, I don't know, a t-shirt and it costs, let's say $10 to buy, then you should probably sell it for around $30. So your profit margin should be about ×3 for a healthy one. So aim for around that. All right, now we are not designers. So for the love of baby Jesus, please do not design your own product. I should have done that. All right, I know, I get it, I hear you. You're not a designer, but there's a solution. So here's what you do. Go to dribbble.com, and if you didn't already know, Dribbble is actually a popular website for finding high-end graphic designers who have designed incredible merchandise that you can see their portfolio. And if you've ever been to a store somewhere and you thought, wow, that's a really cool thing, I really need that in my life, there's a good chance that that artist is on Dribbble for hire. Call 1-800-STARVING-ARTISTS. Just kidding. They're not cheap, so definitely have a budget when hiring a designer because people notice great work, whether it's a t-shirt, deck of playing cards, or that's all I can think of. But the most important thing is to get people excited about what you're doing. And this can be in any form. We used a keynote, which should be up on the screen right now, and we were giving artists an idea of what our project would look like. And again, we also showed people projects that we've already done in the past. So people are like, wow, these guys have done great work. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I'd love to partner up with them. Let's do this. That's very, very important. Excite everybody that you're working with, and your project will be a success, I promise. All right, step number 2, execution. Come here, I wanna show you something. All right, so I have a question for you. How do you sell this object? This is a deck of playing cards. It's not mine, it's my friend Chris Ramsey's. It's super cool looking, but it's also from the Stone Age, right? Because it's made out of paper, and we kind of play online now, and maybe Cards Against Humanity, but less and less with a real deck of cards. I mean, that's true for every deck of cards, right? So we had this idea to appeal to as many interest groups as possible by mashing up 3 different interest groups into one. So for our product, we decided to appeal to magicians and cardists and playing card collectors like us. We also collect puzzles. I love puzzles. I love cool things like this. And of course, crypto and technology people, we also try to appeal to because that's also our interest. That's not technology, but that is, and that's just totally random and cool. And this is my giant cake for my 30th birthday that my mom gave me. That's like 10% of the cake. That's an iPhone 8 Plus for comparison of size. It's ridiculous. But for your product or idea, if your product is already appealing to a lot of people, great. Ours just didn't, so we try to combine it with all of our passions into one, and that's something to think about. There's a famous saying in marketing, and it goes something like, you can have any color as long as it's black or white. And it's kind of true, because you don't want to overwhelm your audience with decisions. Like, have you ever been so close to buying something and then you just didn't because you were overwhelmed with all the decisions? Yeah, you want to avoid that at all costs. Also, I just noticed that frame on my wall. That looks like a silver play button. That looks good on my wall. I like it. I'm done. And I'm back. Just kidding, I'm not done. But definitely avoid that. It's a little tip, it's a little secret that you don't wanna stop at the video, you don't wanna stop at the campaign, you wanna think about all the choices that you're giving your audience, you wanna get to the point. For me, it was the puzzle box that I wanted people to fall in love with, so I didn't bury that under thousands of different options. Something to keep in mind. Oh, finally, we're at step number 3, and that is the final delivery. Now, since I haven't quite hit my midlife crisis yet, I mean, sometime I will, but for now, I don't want to kill myself by shipping 1,000 orders worldwide, and you might want to consider that as well, because I promise you, if you follow all the tips in this video, there's a good chance your Kickstarter will also be a success, and you do not want to ship every item out personally by hand. So you might want to consider partnering up with someone like BackerKit, who is also not paying me to say any of this. Maybe in the future they will. And for the surveys, after your campaign is over, you can actually show people more items that are for sale, and it's incredible because typically you'll make 10% more on a survey from something like BackerKit on top of your entire Kickstarter, which is what we did. So definitely think about sacrificing a little bit of a profit margin and letting someone else worry about all the shipping, because I promise you, it's a headache. You don't want to deal with it. So after everything is done, all you have to do, I love doing that, and then hit publish. And now the first 48 hours is extremely crucial. Get all of your friends, your family, your pets, anyone with a credit card to come and look at your campaign and back it. First 48 hours seems to raise the most amount of money, and that's what gives you that organic reach and those organic views. So you gotta get on that. The first 48 hours, do as much as you can, hit hard, and then it'll taper off after that, and then it'll kick back up at the end. When we were first funded, that magical $20,000 number, we were so excited, we were so giddy, so happy, and then we hit $40,000, and it was like, wow, that's amazing. And then 80,000, and then 100,000, and beyond. And like after that point, it was just a number, and we didn't quite understand how to comprehend it. I promise you, money does not make you more happy unless you know exactly what to do with it, which is exactly what this channel is going to talk about in the future. Please consider subscribing to the channel, and if I missed anything, if you have any questions or I left something out of the campaign, you were like, dude, you didn't tell me this thing, let me know in the comments below and I will answer any and every question you have. I look forward to making the next video. Thank you so much for watching my first pancake. See you guys next week.